Hey everybody, here we are, another Saturday. Hard to believe that the week has gone by so quickly. It's been a crazy quick week for me. I feel like the weeks go by faster all the time. I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that way. I feel like I have a bug on me. I probably do. I'm in the woods. I am, however, on the edge of a bike path, so there might be traffic. A couple minutes ago, I witnessed a near crash, so hopefully everybody will be okay. Anyway, so if you hear bikes going by, that's why. I hope everybody had a good week with the prompt from last week, Discover Superpowers. I felt like it was incredibly powerful for me. It was a great perspective in my life for the week. And what a powerful thing to sort of investigate and be curious about. I think we don't often do that enough. I don't feel like we really allow ourselves to think positively about ourselves that way, where we are actually saying to ourselves, what superpowers do I actually have? What things about me are actually really, really great that I do super well and that I feel confident about? I mean, dare we say such a thing? So hard for our people to admit those sorts of things out loud, and we might act confident about things or even like a know-it-all like I do sometimes. But I don't feel like it's necessarily something that we really embrace. Not very often. So, this week, with all of the things that are happening in our world and the fact that it's the 4th of July in the United States, I don't usually talk about holidays or anything on this. I usually kind of stay away from that stuff. But today it feels like it's appropriate to address the reason for this holiday, which for Americans is all about our independence as a nation, to finally be no longer a colony, but instead an actual nation of its own. I have a lot to say about that historic occasion, but I'll withhold myself from talking too much about it. I think living in the past is not a healthy thing, and I think that what's better is for us to move forward with what we can and what we have and what's available to us. So rather than allowing history to inform us and to force us into pigeonholes and to feel like we have to do things a certain way for a certain reason, I think I want the opposite for us right now. I think a lot of us want the opposite of that. I think a lot of us want to free ourselves of that historic way of doing things, which really doesn't work. It's enslaved and oppressed a lot of people over the years. Virtually everyone has been enslaved by it. Even white men have been hurt by the systems that are in place right now. Nobody really truly is gaining from the way the world is at this moment, with all of the inequity that is everywhere. It's just everywhere. There's no one particular country where it's worse. It's just everywhere. So I feel like it's a good time for all of us to think about our own independence. I feel like this is a good time for all of us to imbue independence in our lives. And that's your prompt for this week. Imbue independence. See how you are personally powerful and embrace within your life your own ability to independently create what you and only you can powerfully give to the world and contribute to the people in your life, and what only you can do when it comes to what you're meant to be. We all have a unique set of qualities and skills and beliefs and whatever else comes with us, whatever we have survived, whatever we have experienced, we have that to give. So I think too many of us allow that to go to waste because we are allowing ourselves to feel like others control all the cards, that other people have all of the power, which is just not true. We give that power to them when we vote or when we don't. We give that power when we choose to buy certain things which we know may not necessarily be good for the world or for the people who have to work in certain conditions, or food that's prepared in a way that we know isn't really that healthy for us. We are choosing that. We're giving our power away. Instead, we can say, how do I independently create what it is that I actually truly want? Be independent in your power. See how you can be in the world when you actually give from that space of who you really are. And that doesn't mean you need to divide yourself away from community. In fact, just the opposite. I believe that when we have community, we are far more powerful because community provides us with the resources when we are in a community of people, particularly who are supportive of us. When you rely on people to provide you with emotional support and love and help nurture your dreams, that's a superpower if I ever saw one. And that's an important part of being independent. Someone who can stay with you and walk with you on that path of, I think, embracing your own independence. That's a powerful experience when you have someone who's willing to do that with you. When you do the scary thing and say, you know what? I hate my job. I'm quitting. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm getting out of there. I can't do it anymore. It's sucking out my soul. I can't stand it. Many of us have these experiences, these places where we feel constricted, and yet we live with it because we think there's no other choice, but there is always a choice. Even when you're in a situation where you think you don't control anything, even if you're in jail, you have a choice about how you choose to maintain your own emotional state and how you choose to think. There are many stories of people who have taken control of their own sense of self in jail. Many. And not just Nelson Mandela, it's not special people. We're talking about regular, everyday people, but we're all that powerful. We all have the Nelson Mandela within us who can say, no, I choose differently. And not fight the powers that be, but instead step outside of it and say, what can I do outside of this? How can I have what matters to me? Find your independence. Imbue yourself with that independence and see what comes with your week. Wake up in the morning, write that down first thing. When you wake up, you roll out of bed, you write your intention, set that for your day. Use those powerful theta waves. When you first awaken in the morning, it's like a hypnotic state. When you're first waking up and you're still sleepy and groggy, it's the perfect time to implant that idea in your mind so that while you go through your day, it's sort of in the back of your head and you're just kind of letting it sift down through all of your thoughts and emotions. And then at the end of your day, right before you go to bed, when you're sleepy is best, again, engaging those theta waves, write that reflection 1 to 5 minutes, let the pen flow, write whatever comes to mind. Just let it roll off the end of your pen. Don't edit anything. Just let it go and let it be controlled by that idea of what your intention was for the day and see what happens, what comes out. And over the week, I guarantee you will find that you embrace a whole new power within you just by noticing things. It is an incredibly powerful action to take. Noticing things in your environment, noticing things in your head when you think thoughts, noticing feelings as they come up and how they feel in your body. incredibly powerful, incredibly empowering. Try it and see what happens. And I guarantee your week will come out differently. It's impossible not to unless you really fight it. If you fight it, it probably won't work. But if you let it wash over you like water, whole different story. So try it. What have you got to lose? So, my dear friends all over the world, wherever you may be, blessings and peace to you. May we all come out of this experience now with a sense of more independence and personal power, and a sense of calm and peace that we all know we control our own circumstances, not someone else. And I will see you next Saturday.